Hi, I'm Anton, and welcome to this yoga flow. We're going to do a few different movements in cat-cow, but in different poses. It's going to feel yummy in some places, a bit difficult in others, but we want to enjoy it. Work hard and work fun. Okay, today we're going to work with a sort of funky cat-cow flow. And again, we'll be doing cat-cow in weird and funky positions. Again, it may feel really peculiar or really good. It really depends on your body and what kind of flavors you like in the body. We're going to start either on the knees or you can be cross-legged. I know it can be really uncomfortable for some people to be on the knees like this. So it could be cross-legged or however you want to sit. We're focusing on the spine. So we're going to interlace the hands behind the head. And then think about pressing the elbows back in space. You want to be really active, thinking about deep neck flexion. So you're thinking about giving yourself a double chin, pushing your head back in space. We're going to add an anterior tilt. So think about popping your booty out like you have a nice pair of jeans on and you want everyone to see that beautiful butt, okay? You're going to arch your low back. And then again, keep pushing your head back in space. Begin to lift the chest. Spread those elbows nice and wide. Then as we exhale, elbows come together, draw your chin in, rounding through the upper back, tuck your pelvis. Really thinking about leaning back into the spine. Inhale, lifting the chest, spread elbows nice and wide, arching the low back. Breathing out. Lovely. One more time, round, elbows come together, draw your chin towards your chest. Try and pull the spine to the back of the mat. As we lift, we're going to come to a neutral position. Elbows are nice and wide, but we're going to make it a little bit more active. So again, I want you to think Britney Spears crop top. You're going to pull the tummy in. So instead of being soft, you're going to take a big breath in. And then as you exhale, breathe out until there's no air left. The core will activate and the ribs will draw in. Okay? We're going to do this with the hands behind the head. Deep neck flexion, pushing the chin back into space. Big breath in. Then as you exhale, breathing out, all the air leaves the body. Lovely. Spread those elbows nice and wide. We're going to turn over to the right. The elbows are really pressing back the entire time. Lovely. Big breath in, lifting through the spine. And then maybe a little bit more rotation. Think from the core, from the mid-belly. Mid-belly? What is that? From your tummy. Coming back to center. I find as a yoga teacher, you can say the weirdest stuff and it makes sense. Going to the other side, you're gently pushing your head back in space. Elbows are nice and wide. And as you exhale, you're rotating towards the left. Elbows are pressing back, lifting taller through the spine. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, maybe a little bit more rotation. Slowly coming back to center, shake it out and just drop that, okay? We're going to come to all fours and work with the foundation of our all fours position. So hands come underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Again, it is great to touch yourself in many senses. You can literally touch your shoulder, make sure it's underneath the wrist. You can touch your hip, make sure it's underneath the knee. I'm going to make a little bit more activation in the arms and legs. So with the fingers spreading nice and wide, I want you to think about pressing the muscles of your... I want you to think about pressing the muscles of your forearms towards your fingertips, or even up and over the fingers. So you're pressing the weight forwards. The weight will then come into the underside of the knuckles, and then I want you to think about someone that you don't like, okay? So think about an ex, think about a teacher that you didn't like, or a politician, many of those. You're going to push that person as hard as you can. Squeeze your elbows together. And then we're going to do the same thing with the legs, pressing down through the knees and the tops of the feet as you squeeze your inner thighs together. Really nice and active. We've got lovely protraction through the backs and the shoulders, engagement in the core because we're squeezing our inner thighs together, okay? And then you can soften and see how that feels. And we'll do that one more time. Pushing down through the hands, active in the forearms, squeezing in the thighs together. Now, we're going to cock the left leg like we're a dog having a pee, okay? So you're just going to take the left leg out, having a good old wee, okay? Weight will start coming over to the right, but we want to keep the energy in the left hand, really lifting from that left knee and maybe ankle. You can stay here, working it here, or take the left leg out long, kicking to the side, maybe a bit of internal rotation, rolling side down. Oh, this is bloody hard, but we can do this. Left foot comes down, and we have a few cat-cows here. So you're really thinking about the pelvis, movement in the pelvis. So as we inhale, your booty goes up, lifting your chest, and then there's a slight drag of your hands backwards as you exhale and rotate with the arms. Again, as you round, think about sliding the skin of the fingers forwards, really tuck the pelvis, draw your chin in. Inhale, booty up, drop the belly, lift your chest. Gentle drag of the hands back. Now you can keep doing this, or you can even isolate it just to the pelvis, or you can be a little bit more passive. Maybe you start walking the hips back, sink the booty nice and low. Again, you can stay here, or flipping toes up towards the ceiling, maybe walking in the hands directly in front of the hips. Again, you can be nice and soft here, or think about dragging the hands backwards, chest through the arms. We can even add an anterior tilt here, gently popping the booty out. It's not going to be massive, but it's a gentle shift of the weight back. Lovely. Again, you can stay here for a couple of breaths. Toes can be tucked or untucked on the right leg. Walking the hands back in front of you. Left foot comes down to the ground, coming all the way up. Hands come to your hips, or you can have the hands out for balance. We're going to slowly try and bring the knee in, but we're going to hover the foot at the top of the mat just for like 5 seconds. Again, it's okay if the foot comes down. It's okay if you fall. I didn't push you, so you can't blame me, okay? Hands come to the sides or to your hip. You're going to slowly bring the weight to the right knee. Left knee comes towards your chest, and you're pulling up nice and high. We're trying to hold it for 5, 4, wobbling for 3, 2, stepping the left foot up. Again, you can adjust the legs, but you don't have to. The body is resilient, and you can move in many different ways. Reaching the hands up, you want to think about putting your right bum cheek forwards, left bum cheek back. Really squeeze those inner thighs together. Again, hands are up, so we want some external rotation. So you're rolling armpits face one another, turning your light bulb. Left hand is going to come down. This is a great place to grab a block, like so. Or reaching right hand up and going slightly up and back. Again, you can change the levels of the blocks. You can have no block, whatever you like. We're going to add a little cat-cow here. So it's sort of to the side and back. So you want to think right shoulder, right hand, up and over towards the left. You're going to start tucking the pelvis, rounding through the upper back, pushing down through left foot. And then inhale, lifting. Lovely. Rounding. Again, if you like any of the movements here, you can stay with it, play with it a little longer, seeing how it works in your body. Again, you want to work with the articulation from the pelvis. So you're working with the pelvis and the shoulders as you round. Again, moving in a side way can be a little different. It can even feel kind of good just to rotate a little bit. Play with the movement. Right hand comes down. You're going to lift the back knee. Reach left hand up. Again, you want to think right side of the chest up to the left hand. Really push down through that lower arm. And then when it comes to a side plank, option to not do that. That is also okay too. Now from here, your front foot is going to join your back foot in a side plank. Feet can either be side by side or stacked. You want to think about thrusting hips forwards, really squeezing the glutes, squeeze of the inner thighs. Maybe your left hand reaches overhead. And again, you can add a funky weird cat-cow here. You're going to tuck the pelvis, rounding through the upper back. And then inhale, arching. Ooh, this is tricky. Tucking pelvis. Lovely. Inhale, flare through the ribs. Now, being a little bit stronger, your top foot is going to come down to the ground, nice and flat, so it's planted. You're going to bring your right knee towards your right wrist. You're hovering for 3, hovering for 2, screaming for 1. Right knee comes down. We're going to turn the right toes to the back of the mat, reaching left hand up and overhead. If you want to, you can always move this right hand slightly forward so it's underneath the shoulder again. Left hand reaches up and overhead. Again, external rotation, armpit facing the top of the yoga mat. Again, spicing it up, lifting left leg. Again, really working with that outer glute. So you want to focus on that lift of the ankle, that squeeze of the glutes as you thrust your hips forward. I shouldn't have done that to the camera, but thrust hips forward. Lovely. From here, you're going to inhale, lifting the chest. Really arching through the back, and then exhale, tuck. Again, it's quite tricky, keeping that left ankle nice and high. Lovely, last one. And then from here, you can bring the left hand down, or slowly stepping left foot to the top of the mat. Back leg is going to be a bit weird, but we're going to spice it up. You can try kicking through, okay? So you can always use a block on the right hand, or no blocks. You're going to bring right knee towards the chest, squeeze the heel to your bum, maybe kicking all the way through. Maybe you hover, maybe you sit down. Your choice, your body. Lifting back up, pushing down through right hand, knee to nose, kick back with the right foot. You're like, oh, I did it once. Maybe you do it again. Again, you really want to think about bringing that knee towards your nose, squeezing the heel towards your bum. So you're curling in as much as you can and kicking through. Lovely. This time we're going to bring right knee towards the nose, step right foot outside right hand, sit your booty nice and low, Malasana. Instead of bringing the hands to heart center, I like to take the hands nice and wide. So you'll think about squeezing the arms with the knees, and the knees push back. Breathing here, just for a moment or two. And just to make it a little bit more glutey, you're going to lift out of it a little bit. Hands come outside the knees. You're going to push the knees outwards for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the bum down. Woo, that was a lot. Now here you can play with the crow pose. I'm going to Scoot back slightly. So if you're beginning, you can have the hands inside, or if you're quite strong, hands outside. I like to come high on the toes, bending the elbows. Knees wiggle a little lower, so we have the bicep in line with the crease of the knee. Spreading the hands nice and wide. Lift your bum. Maybe you start shifting the weight forwards. So again, we don't want the bum too high, otherwise we're just going to go down, okay? So a little lift of the bum, lifting your chest. Think buy me drinks. Maybe coming to the tips of the toes. Maybe squeezing one heel up, maybe the other. Holding here. Maybe coming down, maybe trying again. Maybe stepping, hopping, jumping back, however you want to do it, go for it. You want to think about drawing back through the elbows rather than shooting the legs back. It'll be a slow process. Inhale, lifting the chest. Really tear your yoga mat in half, pushing down into the ground. And again, you can add deep neck flexion, pushing the head back in space. Tuck the toes, bottom up and back. Whew. Now, we have our weird little wiggles and movements. You can play with rolls with the spine. Lower the knees, booty up, down, maybe side to side. I want you to play with your down dog. Again, I quite like a high on the toes, butt to the sky, shifting the weight forwards, mid back, upper back, shoulders over the wrists, knees nice and low. And then at the last moment, pop that booty, setting it back and up in space. Lovely. We're going to lower down, having a rest before we get to the other side. Again, you can cry into your hands, cry into your block. Whatever you want to use to chill out here, do that. Before we work the other side. God damn, having two working legs. I think it's great to explore movement. Breathing here. Now when you're ready, coming back to all fours. Nice and active. Again, you want that strong push with the ground. And then you're cocking the right leg. I need to think of another word, guys. You'll think about lifting the right leg out to the side. Again, you really want to try not to lean too much to the left. Weight comes into the right hand. You're trying to lift right knee and right ankle. You can stay here or karate kick into the side. Right foot comes down. And again, you have a cat-cow here. So working here, you can work with the tilt of the pelvis, just arching and tucking, or add your full cat-cow shape. So you're drawing chin towards the chest, slide in the skin of the fingers forwards as you tuck the pelvis. Inhale, your booty goes up, dropping the belly. Elbow creases face the front as you drag your hands gently back. Exhale, rounding. And arching. From here, you can continue these shapes or work with sitting the weight back. Again, if you have the flexibility, you can always take the left knee out a little further, maybe spinning right toes up towards the ceiling. Hands can either stay in front of you. It will make it a little bit more passive. This is a passive pose, but it can make it a little bit gentler, okay? Or you can walk the hands over to the right. And again, adding your anterior tilt. This side is a little bit tighter for me, but I don't think the body's going to be the same on each side. We have patterns and we kind of lean into these patterns. Lovely. When you're ready, walking your hands to the front, coming all the way up. Maybe hands to the hips. Lovely. You can either have hands out to the sides or slowly bring your right knee towards your chest, maybe hovering for 5. It's okay if the toe touches the ground. You're just going to pull the right knee up. 3. I did miss 4. 2. And 1. Reaching hands up nice and high. Again, back toes can be tucked or untucked. Doesn't really matter about the front leg. We just want engagement in the glutes. Really squeeze the inner thighs together. Again, right hand can come down to a block, however you like. But we're thinking about reaching left hand towards the right corner of the mat. Again, you've got your cat-cows, tucking the pelvis. Ooh, this side is a little bit more difficult. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, tucking. Inhale, lifting. She is sweating. The left hand comes down. Again, you can lift the back knee, reach your right hand up. We're going to come to a side plank here again. So you can just focus on the twist. If you're like, this is a lot for me, you can just focus on this rotation. The left side of the chest towards right hand. Or begin to pivot on the back foot. Front foot joins back foot. Ooh, almost fell there, but that's okay. Coming to a side plank. Again, you want to press down through the left knife edge of the foot, or you can even have feet side by side. You can add your cat-cow movement, so you want external rotation, armpit towards your face, reaching overhead. Again, you can tuck the pelvis, round, working with your cat-cow. Ooh, left side is really fighting me. You might find the same with your body. Lovely. Maybe right foot plants. You're going to bring your left knee towards your left wrist. Holding here, just for 3, just for 2, and 1. Left knee comes down, but you're going to pivot the left toes over to the left. Maybe scooting your left hand forwards, reaching right hand up. So I'm just going to flick my hair, and we love that. Reaching your right hand up. Option to stay in this place. You can add your cat-cow movements here, or make it a little bit more fiery by lifting this extended leg. Again, you really want to think about lifting from the ankle. And again, you've got your cat-cow movements, tucking the pelvis, arching the back, tucking, and rounding. And when you're ready, slowly drawing right knee towards your face, right foot steps to the right corner of the mat. Back leg is going to be a bit weird, but that's okay. We want to lift that back knee, maybe kicking through. So left leg comes through, hovering here, or sit down and be like, oh, I just made it. Lovely. From here, drawing left knee towards your chest, left foot comes back, and again. Last time, knee towards face, heel to bum, stepping back. Right hand comes down, and then maybe you can use right hand, left foot comes in. You can use no hands, it's up to you if you're that strong in the legs, but I'm a little bit weak sometimes. Hands are on the inside, you'll think about pressing knees into arms, arms into knees, squeezing the thighs together. Lovely. Again, you can add a crow pose, a little push outwards of the knees, or you kind of settle down, bum comes to the ground, maybe you're like, oh, I did it. Whatever you like here. Have a moment to find some sort of rest. You can be in the middle of your mat, you can be on the ground, panting, whatever you want. Just take a moment to kind of settle in and close your practice. So either hands on the knees, facing up or down, depending on how you feel. Big breath in, and a slow breath out. Well done, you smashed it.